Yeah. And so the business grows. You become a national business. You've got all these offices, and you feel the need to go public. In 1962, you went public, but the CPAs kind of enter into this again, don't they?
Yeah, we decided to go public, and I can't really tell you why, but it was back then a lot of companies were going public, and we didn't see much downside to it. And so in 1961, we were going public, and to go public, you need three things. You need a lawyer, you need an accountant, and you need an underwriter. So we picked three big ones. Our lawyer picked the accountant and the underwriter. And halfway through the audit, that's what they do first, they audit your books. The auditors didn't show up. And we called them, and they said, we can't audit your books. We said, you can't audit our books? Why? They said, because our headquarters feels like you're competing with our industry.
So the CPAs wouldn't let you do it.
Well, they couldn't do that today, but back then I guess they could.
Conspiracy against trade.
The underwriting fell through, which is one of the best things that ever happened to us, because we still owned 100% of the company,
right,
and it was growing so fast.
But eventually, when you did go public, you used a Kansas City company. Is that right?
We used a company called George K. Baum.
George K. Baum.
And they were a small company at the time. But we only went public with the center part of the country, right, Midwest. And we owned the rest of it, and
probably made a lot of people in our part of the country pretty happy when they saw what happened to their H&R Block
stock. Came out at $4 a share and immediately went down. But eventually it started.
But obviously a huge success. You grow to be one of the biggest companies in the country, Fortune 500 company. But it's always interesting, it seems to me, Henry, when discussing a great success story like yours and Dick's and Leon's and H&R Block, to talk about the mistakes or the hard times. In 1972, you ran into a little bit of a roadblock with the IRS. You'd had 17 years of increasing earnings and growth, and then in 1972 you hit a little bit of a wall.
We did. The commissioner at that time wrote on the 1040, which was sent to everybody, if you have any tax questions, do not go to commercial tax preparers. Call the IRS. And then in addition to that, he said, taxes really aren't very complicated. They're so simple, even a fifth grader can fill them out. Well, of course, many school teachers tried it in fifth grade, and the kids could not fill them out. And
it's like the old Groucho Marx remark. He says, it's so simple a 10-year-old child could understand it. Could someone please go out and get me a 10-year-old child?
And so our board met and suggested I call on him in Washington, which I did. And Jerome Kurtz was his name. And he said, Mr. Bloch, you don't understand. He said, I'm putting everybody else in that business out of business. I'm helping you. And I thought, well, with friends like that.
You don't need enemies. Exactly.
But that's exactly what happened. We could withstand the loss of business. The next year, we cut our fees, and we had tremendous growth.
And so the company grows, and I have to tell this personal story that you remember about the moment. People have been attacking your business, like the IRS commissioner, in various ways. And I remember once when I was at UMB, we had a trust conference, and we invited you to come, and lots of other people came, and Jack Kemp, the late great Jack Kemp, was our featured speaker, and I introduced him to you, and you had a nice conversation with Jack Kemp, and then I introduced Jack Kemp, and he got up to speak, and of course he was interested in lowering taxes and simplifying taxes and flat taxes. And so the first words out of his mouth were, I'm here to put Henry Bloch out of business.
Jack Kemp was the NFL.
Of my life.
He was the NFL quarterback.
Yeah, an NFL quarterback. Maybe one too many hits, you think? Yeah. But the company has been hugely successful. You and your family have been hugely successful, but you've been entrepreneurial in other ways. And I wonder if there's a similarity between what you've done with the company and what you've done for the community.
We have a debt to Kansas City. I mean, without Kansas City, we would have nothing. So we have a debt, and try to repay it. Well,
you certainly had. You've been head of the United Way, president of the Civic Council, very involved with the American Jewish Committee, your scholarship program for C students, which is a great thing, the Bloch School everybody knows about. But there's a very special thing in our community that you've been involved in, and it seems to me it's taken some of the entrepreneurial spirit, that Kansas City spirit that you have, to hang in there through the commentary and the issues and the controversy. And that's the Bloch building at the Nelson, which turns out today, Paul Goldberger in the New Yorker said it was the best museum building built in the last 30 years.
It had a lot of critics at the beginning.
It did.
But it's a remarkable building, and
it is.
Mark Wilson, the director, deserves
Mark
all
deserves
the credit.
and you and the other trustees. But it's a great thing that you've done there. And I wonder, as you look back over your career and you think about the high points and the low points, what strikes you as a great moment in the history of your career?
That's hard to say, but I know the people that work for the company just love the work they do. And I know when the company was much smaller and I knew more people in it, they didn't want to go home at night. They just wanted to work. They were very conscientious.
They were doing something that was
they
good and successful.
And yeah.
You know, you said
we were helping people, and I do hear criticism, but really we're doing the government a big favor. Without the company, a lot of tax returns would be filed that shouldn't be filed.
Well, that early ad that John White had of people tearing their hair out, that is absolutely true. You know, there are those of us who try to do our taxes on our own, and we have
can't do mine anymore.
We have less hair than the. Exactly. And at one point, you said that your mother's vision for you, and if you hadn't gotten into the United Business Company and the H&R Block business, you might have become a math teacher. And it's interesting to me that my friend Tom, your son, that he did become a math teacher.
That's true.
And you know, your legacy, you've got a legacy in a lot of ways. All of your children have been involved in the community and been leaders in the community, and that must give you a great deal of satisfaction as well.
Definitely.
Well, Henry, before we go upstairs, I want to say one last thing. You know, we're honored by your presence here. You are a legend in the life of Kansas City. About 31 years ago, I think, the Chamber named you Mr. Kansas City. And I just want to say you're still Mr. Kansas City. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would join us upstairs, we'll cut the ribbon in a couple of minutes.